Ellen Drill, Allison Parnell, and Mike Chapman for applying for this. It really shows our interest in transportation, and I really appreciate their interest, and certainly any one of those appointees would be great on MCOG. I sit on MCOG, but and it's great to welcome Sue on that too, because as the assessor of this county, she has a great interest in our transportation abilities in this county. Okay.
Excuse me, we just wanted to clarify for the record if that was a unanimous vote.
Yes, unanimous. Supervisor Colfax?
Well, I would recommend Louise Mariani to the Little River Airport Advisory Board unless the supervisor has an objection.
Second.
Motion and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Carried unanimous.
I'll nominate George William West for the Developmental Disabilities Board.
Second.
Motion and second. All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Aye. Carried unanimous. Okay, that takes care of the appointments. Thank you, folks, for your interest.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, sure.
We do have members of the public here who are interested in at least one of the other items, 7B. I think it could be a fairly quick item.
Yeah, well, we're going to do that right now.
Okay, good.
Yeah, thank you. Agenda item 7B, discussion of possible action regarding potential policy regarding department head access to the media. Sponsor Supervisor McCowan. You have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This item has been in the public discussion a bit lately, and it's simply my position that we have very qualified people as our department heads. I think they're very capable of representing the county position on issues to the media. Recently there was a request to do profiles of the department heads, a number of whom are not really known to the public, and in some cases it's not really known what they do. I think that we should view this as an opportunity, and so I would like to see the board adopt a policy that not merely specifies that the media has free access to the department heads, but that we encourage the department heads to respond to media requests. And I don't think it's something that needs to be carved in stone and develop some elaborate written policy, but I would hope we would provide direction from the board in support of what I have suggested.
I think we can just do that kind of as a general direction from the board. I don't think we need to get into writing a policy and all that. If we can, if the board supports that, and just give basically a vote of confidence for all the, as far as that goes, for all county employees to be open and accessible.
And the only qualification to me would be that they have to be mindful of the types of issues that are specified in the Brown Act for closed session, based on, legal or personnel issues, things like that.
So, can we, just as a general direction from the board, to encourage department heads and all county employees to be more accessible to the media of all types? Does any board members have a problem with that? Tom, would you want to comment, from the CEO's office?
Tom Mitchell, Chief Executive Officer. Our department heads have always been encouraged to talk to the media. They do it on a regular basis. This particular request, which was from one newspaper here in town, came at a time when we were busy with negotiations and many other issues that were going on. I think you'll find our department heads will always be accessible to the press. All members of the press have my personal cell phone number. They call me all the time. I think they do the same with other department heads. We did just issue a press release yesterday regarding the changes in the planning and building department from our new planning and building director, and we will be ongoing encouraging department heads to do, and we will share the information with all members of the press and the media, whether it be television media or radio media at the same time.
Thank you. Supervisor Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I guess I was wanting a little bit of additional information from Supervisor McCowan on what he had in mind here. It's a very brief agenda summary. It just recommends review of county policy number 36, but I don't believe
No.
we... No?
That, staff threw that in there as something that they
Oh.
viewed as related. I see it as two separate
Okay.
things,
'Cause
really.
Okay, because we weren't provided with policy number 36 in the packet,
Well,
so
that
you're
has to
saying...
do with the Freedom of Information Act.
So Supervisor, all it says for the recommended action is that we discuss the matter and provide direction. Are you satisfied with what's taken place to date, today?
Well,
or-
I would like to see us, rather than just kind of sit here and nod our heads, I would hope each of us would explicitly state that we fully support and encourage media access to the department heads.
No.
How about is, under the authority of the chair, I send out a memo to all department heads expressing what the direction of this board.
Oh.
Supervisor Brown?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I fully support Supervisor McCowan's bringing this forward. I do think there's a lot of merit to a county policy in this regard. I feel it will make it clear. It's up to this body to set policy and up to staff to follow it. So I would like to see a policy come back, at least a draft policy.
Supervisor Colfax?
Well, I think here that this has been the policy of this board and this agency for as long as I've been on it. Explication of the obvious is something I don't think we need to each do an affirmative, yes, I'm for it, kind of salute to the flag of ordinary good practice. But I will support this. I have supported it, and I see no need for us to respond to a particular newspaper's problems with understanding what is said to it, and make all of us jump up and say, yes, we, along with motherhood and apple pie, we certainly believe that the county should be responsive to the public. Each and every one of us, and each and every one of those responsible to us should be responsible and responsive as well. I've made, I hope, at that point, a statement that satisfies the motion or the request of the supervisor. Thank you.
Unless I see the majority of the board that expressly wants to move forward with a written policy, you know, keep in time, we're talking moving forward with cutbacks and hours and whatnot. To go forward and write policies and everything, that takes a lot of, you know, as Supervisor Colfax said, this has been the policy of this board for way back. I mean, maybe there has been glitches. Maybe there's been a time or two that I didn't call back a newspaper or something within the period of hours that they thought it was acceptable or something. But I don't think it's a major problem. So I don't support going through the whole process of taking staff time and writing policies and wordsmithing that. I think we've put out the word. What I will do, I will offer up for the board's support if they want. I will do a memo to all department heads expressing our to move forward, you know, to be open, accessible to all forms of news media. So with that, unless there's strong support for it to move forward with policy, that will be the direction. Supervisor McCown.
I appreciate that, Mr. Chair, and I concur with that. And maybe an added wrinkle, you know, you had said free access to all employees, so I would say at the discretion of the department heads, they decide, but perhaps.
What we will do is I will, with the clerk, will draft, and with the CEO's office, draft a memo, and I will pass it, make sure that it's passed by for everybody's comments to it before it's sent out.
Thank you.
It's
And I really...
under my wordsmithing, it's not going to be very complicated.
Thank you. And I realize we are stating the obvious here to Supervisor Colfax, but based on recent events, it did seem that the obvious needed to be stated. So, thank you.
Okay, members of the public, Linda, sure. State your
Hi,
name, please.
Linda McClure, representing Service Employees Union. On the issue of access to the media and your comments today about that